Welcome to the news with breaking stories that are shaping tomorrow. We start today with groundbreaking economic data showing the massive impact of local culture. A new study released by the Victorian Music Development Office's Music and Data Insights Summit reveals that community radio stations are a powerhouse for the national music economy. Researchers including Associate Professor Shane Hammond from Monash University and Professor Susan Ford from Griffith University analyzed 292 community radio stations across Australia, and the findings are staggering. They discovered that the top 39 high-intensity music stations contribute over $105 million annually in promotion, gigs, studio time, and personnel training to the Australian music industry. This research proves that community radio is a valuable national asset, showing that for every dollar invested, up to $5.55 is returned to the music industries in socioeconomic value. R&B, emphasizing that the industry needs to focus on building infrastructure rather than fearing a collapse. She stressed that this correction is normal development, and the focus must now be on establishing the necessary foundations to sustain the industry's continued growth. And finally, we tackle the ongoing battle for fair access in the live music world. Secondary ticketing platform Viagogo is directly calling on the UK government to reconsider its proposed reforms aimed at cracking down on ticket resales. Viagogo argues that strict price caps could push resale activity into unregulated spaces, and they advocate for a modern approach focusing on distribution rather than restriction. This debate is heating up as artists like Dua Lipa and Coldplay push for stronger protections for fans against inflated prices. Don't miss our full breakdown on this major industry conflict. Stay tuned right here for all the latest and most important news. A new study has revealed that community radio plays a significantly vital role in the national music economy, contributing over $153 million annually. The three-year research, funded by the Australian Research Council and led by researchers from Monash and Griffith Universities, analysed 292 music specialist community radio stations across Australia to provide the first comprehensive economic analysis of the sector. The findings highlight the substantial economic impact, showing that the top 39 high-intensity music stations contribute more than $105 million each annually through promotion, gigs, studio time, and music industry personnel training. Furthermore, the study establishes that the community radio sector is a valuable national asset, demonstrating a significant return on investment. For every dollar invested, up to $5.55 is returned to the Australian music industries in socioeconomic value, with a median return of $2.47 for the top stations. Associate Professor Shane Hammond of Monash University stated that these stations provide crucial first exposure for overlooked artists and drive economic benefits. The research also quantifies the broadcast volume, noting that community radio broadcasts 390,960 hours of Australian music yearly, more than double the volume of the entire commercial radio sector, generating over $38.9 million in airplay value for listeners, artists, and venues, in addition to direct artist royalties. The influence of community radio on consumer behavior is also striking. Exposure on these stations leads to approximately 1.3 million Australians making a purchase, and 28% of listeners, or 1.5 million Australians, actively seek out local artists on digital platforms after hearing them on community radio. One industry source noted that performing live on air can result in selling a minimum of 20 to 30 tickets the following night. Moreover, community radio is a key driver of music discovery, with around 30% of weekly listeners discovering local or emerging acts through these broadcasts, and 19% choosing to share or recommend this music to friends. A significant portion of the top 39 stations, one-third of which, are First Nations stations, with audiences reporting that dedicated programming fosters strong feelings of ownership and representation. The study concludes with recommendations urging arts funding bodies to recognize these findings, increase support for content-sharing infrastructure from the CBAA, and direct funding towards paid music director roles to bolster grassroots music activities. The full report is accessible via Monash University. Nevada City is launching its first-ever song contest on May 28th at the Miners Foundry, an event organized by the new full-service record label, Madcap Records. The free evening, running from 6:00 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., aims to showcase original music and local talent in Nevada County. Madcap Records, founded by former Capitol Records A&R executive and producer Kelly Rutledge, is designed to provide comprehensive support for artists, handling publishing, recording, distribution, and artist development under one roof. Rutledge established the label to bridge the gap between local talent and professional infrastructure, aiming to help songs move from concept to commercial success. The song contest was conceived as a celebration of songwriting rather than a traditional competition. Submissions were accepted from January through March 31st, and Madcap selected 5 finalists based on the strength of their lyrics, melody, emotional impact, and artistic identity. The evening will kick off with a mixer featuring live music from Dasty Island, pop-up vendors including Clocktour Records, and giveaways. The 5 finalists will then perform their original songs for a live judging panel. The ultimate goal is to name one songwriter the winner. The prize package for the winner is substantial, including a professional recording at Ancient Wave Studios, a live performance on KVMR radio, and an official Madcap Records release, complete with modern marketing and distribution. Rutledge emphasized the importance of artist development, stating that artists need support and infrastructure to thrive. Madcap's model focuses on developing one song at a time while maintaining momentum through consistent releases, blending traditional development with modern release strategies. Rutledge highlighted the significance of the event as a community gathering centered on the musical heartbeat of Nevada City, emphasizing that local music scenes grow when communities actively support them. She envisions the contest as the start of a larger local ecosystem where artists can record, collaborate, and build careers. Afrobeat star Tiwa Savage has issued a strong statement asserting that the current state of African music is not a decline, but rather a necessary correction phase aimed at long-term sustainability. Speaking as a keynote speaker at the Oxford Africa Conference, Savage pointed out that the slowdown in rapid growth has created a crucial opportunity to concentrate on building the necessary infrastructure for the industry. She drew parallels between the current situation and the developmental stages experienced by other major genres, including hip-hop, R&B, and pop music, emphasizing that correction is a normal, healthy part of any industry's evolution. Savage cautioned against misinterpreting these adjustments as a collapse, stating, "We are actually in a healthy cycle, where now that the noise from the rapid growth seems to have reduced, we now need to focus on building the infrastructure to sustain this industry." Many genres have experienced this, from hip-hop to R&B to pop. Our industry is no different. We now see that we have a lot to correct, but let's not confuse correction with collapse. The comments underscore a proactive approach to industry development, focusing on structural improvements rather than viewing current shifts as a failure. Secondary ticketing platform Viagogo has urgently called on the UK government to reconsider proposed reforms targeting ticket resales, warning that new restrictions could negatively impact music fans and the broader live events industry. The proposed legislation, initially outlined by the government in late 2025, aims to criminalize the resale of live event tickets above their original face value. Ministers state the goal is to combat ticket touting, curb inflated resale prices, and enhance fairness for attendees of concerts, sporting events, and festivals. The plans also include stricter regulation for resale platforms, imposing caps on service fees, and increasing the responsibility for monitoring listings sold via their sites. The government contends these reforms could save fans millions annually while dismantling the model of industrial-scale ticket touting. Conversely, Viagogo has strongly opposed these measures. The company argues that strict price caps risk pushing resale activity into unregulated channels and escalating consumer fraud. Viagogo asserts that regulated resale marketplaces offer essential security protections and verified transactions that unofficial black market sellers often fail to provide. Executives have suggested the UK should prioritize modernizing ticket distribution over restricting resale pricing, pointing to Viagogo's expansion of its open distribution model, which allows tickets to be sold across multiple platforms akin to airline ticketing, arguing this will foster competition. The debate is intensifying amid significant political and public pressure. Major artists, including Dua Lipa, Coldplay, and Radiohead, have publicly endorsed stronger resale market regulation, while consumer groups and music industry bodies continue to press the government to uphold its commitment to protecting fans from exorbitant prices. Consumer advocates highlight that large-scale ticket reselling has become increasingly aggressive, utilizing automated bots and bulk purchasing to drive prices up dramatically. The government's consultation framed ticket touting as detrimental to both fans and the live events sector. Viagogo maintains that it adheres to existing UK regulations and has implemented security measures for users, despite past scrutiny from regulators like the Competition and Markets Authority regarding listing transparency. While support for reform exists, reports indicate that the government's anti-touting legislation may face delays due to parliamentary scheduling. The future of the UK ticket resale market remains highly contested, marking the pricing, access, and regulation of resale as one of the music industry's most significant ongoing conflicts.